So hi, welcome to the new video, and today we are going to see our next problem on Leetcode, that is the question number 1929, concatenation of arrays. So basically in this question we have given an input array of size length n, and we have to create another array of size 2n, that means double the size of our input array, and in this array we have to concatenate, that means add our input array twice. Let's see an example. So here we are given an nums array in the input of length 3, and we have to create it in output and another array of length 2n, that means here the length is 3 of an input array, so we have to create it an in output array the length of size 6, and we have to concatenate, that means add the our nums array twice. So firstly we have 1 to 1 in our input array. So let's see, in the output array it is 1 to 1, and again add this nums array 1 to 1. So basically we have created this array. So let's see approaches of this problem. So let's see our first approach, that is approach number 1, brute force using modulo approach. So in this approach, in the first step we have to create an result array. Here we named as answer array of size 2n, and n is the length of our input array. And then in second step we have to run a loop from I is equal to 0 to n minus 1, and each iteration of this loop we have to assign a value to our answer array, this value nums of I modulo n, and after each iteration we have successfully concatenated our arrays, and in last step we have to return our answer. So let's see an example. In input we have given an array 1 to 1 of length. Here the length is 3. So in the first step we have to create another array answer of length 2n, and here n is 3. So we have to create another array of length 6. We have to create another array of length 6, and in second step we have to run a loop from I is equal to 0 to 2n minus 1. So in first iteration it assigns answers of 0 is equal to nums of 0 modulo 3, and 0 modulo 3 is 0, so nums of 0, here it is 1, and in next iteration that means answers of 1 is equal to nums of 1 modulo 3, and 1 modulo 3 is 1, that's why it assigns nums of 1 to answers of 1, and nums of 1 is 2, so it assigns. In next iteration, in answers of 2 is nums of 2 modulo n, so 2 modulo 3 it is 2, hence it assigns the nums of 2 to the answers of 2, and nums of 2 is 1, and again it incremented, and next answers of 3 is equal to nums of 3 modulo 3. So nums of 3 modulo 3 is 0, so it assigns nums of 0 to answers of 3. Nums of 0 is 1, and again it incremented I, and after in next iteration the answers of 4 is equal to nums of 4 modulo 3, and 4 modulo 3 is 1, so nums of 1 is assigned to answers of 4. Nums of 1 is 2. And in last iteration, that means answers of 5 is equal to nums of 5 modulo 3, and the 5 modulo 3 is 2, that means nums of 2 is assigned to answers of 5, and nums of 2 is 1. Hence we have successfully concatenated our array, and we have find this answer array, and in last step we have to return this answer array. So this approach uses time complexity of order of n and space complexity of order of n. So let's see our second approach, that is approach number 2, two pass copying. So in this approach the first step is create another array answer of length size 2n, and n is the size of our input array, and in the second step we have to run a loop from I is equal to 0 to I is equal to n minus 1, and for each iteration we have to assign the value of nums of I to answers of I, and nums of I to answers of I plus n, And after all this iteration, we have successfully concatenated our nums array, and in last step we have to return this answer array. So let's see an example. So in example we have given a nums array of elements 1 to 1. In the first step we have to create an answer array of size 2n, and here the size of nums array is 3. So n is equal to 3. So we have to create an answer array of size 2n, that means size of 6. And first step is done. In second step we have to run a loop from I is equal to 0 to I is equal to n minus 1. That means the 0, 1 and 2. 3 times we run a loop, and each iteration. So in the first iteration, answers of 0 is equal to nums of 0, and nums of 0 is 1. So answers of 0 is 1, and answers of I plus n, that means I is equal to 0 and n is equal to 3. So answers of 3 is equal to nums of 0. Answers of 3 is here, and nums of 0 is 1. So assign 1. In next iteration, our I is incremented and I becomes 1. So answers of 1 is equal to nums of 1, and nums of 1 is equal to 2. So answers of 1 is equal to 2, and answers of 1 plus n, that means 1 plus 3, answers of 4 is equal to nums of 1. So answer of 4 is here, and nums of 1 is 2. And in next step I becomes 2, and answers of 2 is equal to nums of 2, and nums of 2 is equal to 1. That means answers of 2 is become 1, and answers of 2 plus n, that means 2 plus n 5. Answers of 5 is equal to nums of 2, and nums of 2 is equal to 1. That means answers of 5 is equal to 1. And hence we have successfully concatenated our array, and we have find the solution, and in the last step we have written this answer array. So here it is our question number 1929, concatenation of array. So basically in this question we have given an integer array nums of length n, and we have to create an another array answer of length 2n, where answers of I is equal to nums of I, and answers of I plus n is equal to nums of I. That means we have to concatenate the nums of array. So and in last step we have to return the our answer array. So let's get on to our first approach. So in the first approach we have, in the first step we have to created an another array answer array of size twice the size of our input nums array. So let's create this array. So and the size of our answer array is twice the size of our nums array. In the second step we run the loop from I is equal to 0 to I is equal to 2n minus 1, and each iteration we assigns the value to answers of I from nums of I modulo n. So running a loop from int I is equal to 0 to I is equal to 2n minus 1. In each iteration we assign the value to value of nums of I modulo n to answers of I. And after successful looping of this loop, so we in the last step we have to return our answer array. So let's run it. and we have successfully run our code, and we have successfully run our first approach. Let's submit it. And we finally successfully submitted, and this approach uses order of n time complexity and order of n space complexity. So let's see our second approach. In second approach, the first step is creating an another array, answer array of size 2n, that means twice the size of our input nums array. So firstly creating a answer array of size twice the size of our nums array. And in second step we running a loop from I is equal to 0 to I is equal to n minus 1, and for each iteration of this loop we assign the nums of I to the answers of I and answers of I plus n. In each iteration we assigns the value of nums of I to the answers of I and answers of I plus n. And after successfully completion of this loop we have successfully concatenate our array, and in last step we return the our answer array. So let's run this, and our code successfully run. So let's submit it. So this approach also uses time complexity of order of n and space complexity of order of n. Thank you.